It was raining that night, the kind of rain that makes the streets look blurry, like tears falling from the sky. In a small town, inside a dim hospital room, a woman sat on the edge of a hospital bed. Her name was Maya. She was only 22, but her tired eyes made her look older. In her arms was a tiny baby girl, wrapped in a soft pink blanket. The baby's name was Lily. Maya looked at Lily with pain in her eyes. The baby was so innocent, so calm. But Maya's heart was in pieces. She gently kissed her baby's forehead and whispered, "I'm sorry, my little flower. I can't give you the life you deserve." She stood up, her body shaking. Slowly, she walked out of the room, not looking back even once. At the end of the hallway stood a nurse. Maya handed Lily over with trembling hands. "Please take care of her," Maya said. "Find her a good home." And then, Maya disappeared into the night. No one knew where she went. No one knew why she had to leave. 7 years later, Lily was now a bright, cheerful girl. She lived in a foster home with other kids, but deep down, she always felt something was missing. She didn't know why her real mother left her. She didn't even have a photo of her. Every night, she would stare at the stars and whisper, "Mama, where are you? Why didn't you want me?" The other kids made fun of her sometimes, calling her Star Girl because she always talked to the sky. But Lily didn't care. In her heart, she believed her mother was still out there somewhere. One evening, a woman came to visit the foster home. She was a volunteer. She helped the kids with their homework and sometimes brought them gifts. Her name was Clara. She had kind eyes and a warm smile. The moment Clara saw Lily, something strange happened. Her eyes froze for a second, and she looked like she had seen a ghost. Clara knelt down and gently touched Lily's hair. "What's your name, sweetheart?" she asked. "Lily," the girl replied. Clara's hands shook for a moment. "That's a beautiful name." From that day, Clara started visiting more often. She always brought Lily books, toys, or snacks. But more than that, she brought comfort. Lily started to feel a strange connection with her, like she had known her forever. But behind Clara's smile, there was a storm, because Clara was Maya. Yes, the same woman who had left Lily in the hospital years ago. She had changed her name and appearance after escaping a life full of danger and secrets. She had tried to forget the past, tried to move on, but nothing could erase the memory of the baby she left behind. When she found out Lily was still in the foster system, her heart shattered all over again. She wanted to hold her, to tell her everything, but fear stopped her. What if Lily hated her? What if she never forgave her? Hook's suspense begins. One day, Lily showed Clara a drawing. It was of a mother and daughter holding hands, standing under the stars. "I don't know what she looks like," Lily said quietly, "but this is how I imagine my real mom. Do you think she misses me?" Clara's eyes filled with tears. She nodded slowly. "Yes, I believe she misses you very much." Lily smiled, but then said something that made Clara freeze. "I had a dream last night. There was a woman in it. She had your voice. She was crying and saying sorry." Clara's breath caught in her throat. "What else did she say?" she whispered. "She said, 'My little flower, I'll find you again. I promise.' That's what she called me. Little flower." Clara felt like the ground had vanished under her feet. That was exactly what she had called her baby on the night she left. Should Clara tell Lily the truth? Could a mother truly fix what was broken? The answers were coming, but with them, a painful truth that would shake both their worlds. After that strange dream Lily shared, Clara couldn't sleep. She tossed and turned in bed, her mind full of memories she had tried to bury for years. She remembered the cold hospital room, the crying baby in her arms, and her shaking hands as she walked away. That voice, Lily's voice, saying, "My little flower," had brought everything back. The next morning, Clara arrived at the foster home earlier than usual. She found Lily sitting alone, reading a storybook. "Hey there, Star Girl," Clara smiled softly. Lily looked up and grinned. "Hi, Miss Clara. I was waiting for you." Clara sat beside her, trying to act normal, but inside her heart was beating fast. Every time she looked into Lily's eyes, she saw herself. Same brown eyes, same soft curls, even the way she frowned while reading. It was just like Maya used to. Clara wanted to reach out, hug her, and say, "I'm your mother." But she couldn't. Not yet. Meanwhile, a social worker noticed something strange. Miss Helen, the head of the foster home, had started to notice Clara's unusual behavior around Lily. She called Clara to her office. "You've been spending a lot of time with Lily," Helen said kindly. "More than the others." Clara nodded, choosing her words carefully. "She reminds me of someone I once knew." Helen looked at her for a long moment. "You care for her deeply. Is there something you want to tell me?" Clara hesitated. Her hands trembled slightly. "I'm not sure yet. I just want to make sure she's okay." Helen didn't push, but she started watching closely. That evening, something unusual happened. Lily had drawn another picture. This time, it was of a woman holding a baby near a hospital bed. At the bottom, she had written 2 words in big wobbly letters. "Find M.E." Clara gasped when she saw it. "Where did you get this idea?" she asked. Lily looked confused. "I don't know. It just came into my head. I think it's from the same dream." Clara felt a chill down her spine. It was as if Lily's heart remembered something her mind had forgotten. And that made Clara even more afraid. The buried past slowly comes back. That night, Clara opened an old box in her closet. Inside were photos, hospital papers, and a baby bracelet with the name Lily on it. She stared at the tiny bracelet for a long time. "I never wanted to leave you," she whispered, "but I had no choice." Back then, Clara had been running from a dangerous man, her ex. He had threatened to hurt her and the baby. The police couldn't protect her. She changed her name, moved cities, and disappeared. But now, destiny had brought her right back to the little girl she once left behind. Lily starts asking questions. One afternoon, Lily asked Clara, "Why don't you have any children, Miss Clara? You'd be a good mom." Clara felt her heart twist. She forced a smile. "Maybe I had one. Once." Lily tilted her head. "What happened to her?" Clara looked away. "She was taken from me." The room went quiet. Lily stared at her, eyes wide. "I think you'll find her," Lily whispered. "She's waiting for you." Clara didn't know whether to cry or hug her. Hook suspense builds. Later that week, Lily had another dream. This time, she told Helen about it, not Clara. "There was a woman," Lily said slowly, "and she was running with a baby. A man was chasing her." Helen's eyes narrowed. "Did you see who the man was?" "No, but the baby cried and cried. And the woman kept saying, 'Don't cry, Lily. I'll protect you.' That was my name." Helen was stunned. She started doing some digging into Clara's background. What she found would shock her to the core. A name change, a missing person report, a baby given up under strange conditions. The truth was coming closer. But when it finally came out, it wouldn't just change Lily's life. It would open a secret that someone had tried hard to hide. Clara's hands shook as she stood at the window, staring at the man outside. The same cruel eyes, the same cold face. It had been almost 7 years, but she could never forget him. Aaron, her ex-husband. She whispered to herself, "How did he find us?" Helen stood behind her, confused and worried. "Clara, or Maya, what's going on? Who is he really?" Clara turned around, her voice trembling. "He's Lily's biological father, and the reason I had to run." Flashback to a dark past. Years ago, Clara was a loving mother and wife, but her husband Aaron had 2 faces. In front of others, he was charming and polite, but at home, he was violent and controlling. He didn't want a child. When Clara got pregnant, he screamed, broke things, and even hit her once. After Lily was born, things got worse. One night, Clara caught Aaron yelling at baby Lily. He blamed her for his job loss. Clara knew in that moment, if she stayed, her daughter wouldn't be safe. So, one cold night, she ran. She changed her name. She left Lily at the hospital for safety. And she vanished. But now, he was back. Aaron enters the foster home. Aaron walked through the gates confidently. He smiled at the staff and said, "I'm here to check on my daughter. I heard she's sick." Helen met him at the office door. "Do you have any documents to prove you're her father?" Aaron placed a folder on the table. Inside were photos, birth records, and court papers. Helen felt uneasy. Something about him didn't feel right. But the papers looked real. Meanwhile, Clara hid in the break room, listening through the wall. Clara makes a choice. Clara knew she had to act fast. If the law took his side, Lily would be handed to him. She had no legal identity, no proof that she was Lily's mother. But she had something stronger, the truth. Clara walked into the office, shaking but determined. Aaron's eyes widened. Well, look who's alive." Clara stood tall. "Stay away from my daughter." Aaron smirked. "You abandoned her. You don't get to play mother now." Helen stepped in. "Enough. We'll let the police handle this." But Aaron wasn't scared. He had powerful friends and fake documents. He thought he had already won. Lily hears the truth. In the hallway, Lily sat with her favorite nurse. But she had heard loud voices. Her tiny heart pounded as she peeked through the door. She saw Clara. She saw the man yelling at her. Something inside Lily clicked. She walked into the room quietly. "Miss Clara," she whispered, "is that bad man my father?" Everyone froze. Clara knelt beside her. "Sweetheart, I didn't want you to ever see him." Aaron laughed cruelly. "So you finally told her." But Lily didn't look at him. She held Clara's hand tightly and said, "You're my only mom. He's not my daddy." Tears rolled down Clara's cheeks. Police get involved. Helen made a quick decision and called 911. When officers arrived, Aaron grew angry. "This is my daughter," he shouted, "and I have proof." But Clara stood up. "Ask him where he was the night I disappeared. Ask him why I had bruises. Ask him why he never filed a missing person report." The officers looked at Aaron. He started sweating. Clara continued, "He wanted me gone. And he didn't care about our baby. He only came now to control her life too." Lily looked up at the police and said softly, "He scares me." A twist in the case. One of the officers had a body cam. They recorded everything. Clara gave her full story. Helen backed her up. And soon, the police checked Aaron's background. It turned out he had a history of abuse in another state. His documents were partly forged. The officers took him into custody. Aaron shouted, "This isn't over." But Clara hugged Lily tight. "Yes, it is." The sun rose slowly the next morning. Inside the small foster home, everything felt calm again. But Clara's heart was still full of fear and questions. She sat on the bench near the garden, her eyes watching Lily through the window. Lily was playing with her teddy bear. Clara whispered to herself, "Will they let me keep her, or will the law take her away again?" Helen stands by her. Helen came and sat beside Clara. Her voice was soft but strong. "You did something very brave," she said. "But now we have to prepare. Child Services will come today. They'll ask questions. They'll need proof." Clara nodded slowly. "I have no papers, no ID. Nothing legal," she whispered. Helen placed a hand on Clara's shoulder. "But you have love. You have truth. And you have me. I'll speak for you." Tears formed in Clara's eyes. "Do you think that's enough?" Helen smiled kindly. "Sometimes love is louder than documents." Lily makes a choice. That afternoon, Lily was asked to sit with a woman from Child Services. The woman was nice and gentle. She asked, "Do you know who Clara is?" Lily nodded, holding her teddy bear tightly. She used to work here, the woman said softly. But now, she says she's your mother. Is that true? Lily looked up with clear eyes. She is my mom, she said. The woman asked, how do you know? Lily thought for a second, then said, she smells like home. The room went quiet. She added, when she hugs me, I don't feel scared anymore. The investigation begins. For the next 2 days, police and child protection officers dug into the truth. They checked Aaron's record. They found evidence of abuse, fake identity papers, and even old neighbors who remembered Clara's bruises. Everything started to make sense. Clara was not a runaway. She was a survivor. But still, there was a problem. Clara had no legal proof she was Lily's biological mother. No birth certificate, no DNA test, no custody papers, and Aaron's name was still listed as the legal parent. Would that stop her from getting Lily back? One final test. Helen had an idea. There's still a way, she told Clara. We can request an emergency DNA test. But it will take time, Clara said. Helen nodded. Then let's start today. The social worker agreed, and the test was done. For the next 48 hours, Clara could only wait and hope. Each second felt like a year. Clara sat outside Lily's room each night, whispering prayers and wiping away silent tears. I've waited years to hold her again, she said. I won't let go this time. The results arrive. 2 days later, the envelope came. Helen opened it with shaking hands. Clara closed her eyes, afraid to hope. The test was positive. Clara was Lily's mother. Helen cried out in joy. You did it. You proved it. Clara fell to her knees, crying. Thank you, God. Thank you. The final meeting. The next morning, Clara stood before the same woman from Child Services. The woman looked at her gently. Clara, you were forced to run for your daughter's safety. You disappeared, not because you didn't care, but because you loved her too much to stay. She paused and smiled. The state has decided. You will get full custody of Lily. Clara's hands flew to her mouth. Really? Yes, the woman said. You are officially her mother again. The reunion. Clara ran to Lily's room. She opened the door and knelt down. Lily, she said with tears, Mommy is here to stay. No more hiding. No more goodbyes. Lily threw her arms around Clara's neck. Can we go home now? Clara hugged her tight. Yes, my sweet girl. We're finally going home. Clara held Lily's tiny hand as they walked into their new home. It was a small apartment with only 2 rooms and old furniture, but to them, it felt like a palace. It was their first real home together. Clara had nothing when she left Aaron years ago, but now she had something even stronger than money. She had her daughter. And Lily had something too, a mother's love. A simple life begins. Clara started working at a nearby bakery. Helen helped her get the job. Lily went to school, made new friends, and smiled more than ever. Every evening they ate together. Every night, Clara read her bedtime stories. Lily would whisper, Mommy, promise me you'll always be here. And Clara would answer, I promise, forever and ever. But one day, the past knocked on their door. The stranger in the hallway. It was a cold morning. Clara had just come home from work when she saw something strange. A man in a dark jacket stood near their apartment door. He didn't knock. He didn't speak. He just stared. When Clara looked at him, he quickly walked away. Her heart beat faster. Something felt wrong. She locked the door and hugged Lily tighter that night. The next morning, she found a letter under the door. It read, You thought you could hide forever, but some things never stay buried. No name, no signature, just fear. A warning from the police. Clara took the letter to the local police station. The officer read it and frowned. Do you have any enemies? Clara hesitated. Just one. My ex-husband, Aaron. The officer looked surprised, but he disappeared right after the custody case. Clara nodded. Yes, no one has seen him since, but now I think he's watching us. The officer promised extra patrols, but Clara still didn't feel safe. Was Aaron back? And what did he want? Lily begins to remember. That night, Clara noticed Lily sitting alone, hugging her teddy bear. "Mommy," she said softly, "I had a dream." "What kind of dream, baby?" "I saw a man. He was angry. He took me away. I was crying. You were shouting." Clara's hands shook. "That's not a dream, sweetheart. That's a memory." Lily's voice got quiet. "He said I didn't need a mommy, but he was lying, right?" Clara hugged her tightly. "Yes, baby. He was lying. You always needed me, and I always needed you." A shadow in the night. 2 nights later, the doorbell rang at midnight. Clara jumped from bed. Her heart pounded. She looked through the peephole. No one. Then, a shadow moved past the window. Clara called the police. They came, searched the area, but found nothing. Helen came over to stay the night. Clara was grateful. But fear still hung in the air like a storm waiting to strike. A mysterious phone call. The next evening, Clara got a phone call from a private number. She answered slowly. The voice on the other end was deep and cold. "I gave you years of freedom, Clara. Now it's my turn. I'm coming back. For her." It was Aaron. Clara dropped the phone. Lily ran in, asking, "Mommy, what happened?" Clara forced a smile. "Nothing, baby. Everything will be okay." But inside, she was shaking. Aaron was coming. A mother's stand. Clara went back to the police. This time, they gave her protection. An officer stayed near the apartment, and a security camera was installed. But Clara knew Aaron. He was clever. He was dangerous. And most of all, he was angry. Helen offered to take Lily to her house for a few days. But Clara said no. "If he's coming, I won't run this time. I'll protect my daughter. I won't lose her again." The apartment was quiet. Too quiet. Clara sat near the window, watching the street below. Every shadow made her heart race. Every sound made her nerves tighten. Lily was asleep, tucked under warm blankets, hugging her teddy bear. Clara had kissed her goodnight, whispering, "Mommy's here. Mommy won't let anything happen." But deep inside she knew. Tonight was the night. A mother's fear. Clara checked the front door again. Locked. She checked the camera feed. Nothing yet. But her hands wouldn't stop shaking. The officer who had been watching over them was called away suddenly. Another emergency. Now she was alone. The fear crawled up her spine like cold fingers. But Clara stood strong. For her daughter, she had to be brave. She picked up the baseball bat she kept hidden behind the couch, just in case. Then the doorbell rang. "He's here." Clara didn't move. The bell rang again. Slow, cold, echoing through the silent apartment. Then came the voice. "Clara, open the door." It was him. Aaron. The man she once trusted. The man who once held their baby in his arms and then tried to take her away forever. Clara didn't open the door. She shouted, "Leave us alone." Aaron laughed, cruel and calm. "I just want to see her, Clara. Just a few minutes. She's my daughter too." "No, Aaron. You gave up that right long ago." A loud bang hit the door. And another. He was trying to break in. Lily wakes up. Clara rushed to Lily's room. The little girl was sitting up, her eyes wide and full of fear. "Mommy, what's that sound?" Clara held her close. "It's okay, baby. Stay here. Lock the door. Don't open it for anyone except me. Understand?" Lily nodded, tears falling from her eyes. Clara kissed her forehead and shut the door behind her. Now, she had to face him. Face to face. The door burst open. Aaron stood there, taller, colder, darker than she remembered. His eyes scanned the apartment. "Where is she?" he growled. Clara stood in front of him, gripping the bat tightly. "You won't touch her." Aaron stepped closer. "You think you can stop me? You couldn't even survive without me for years, living like a rat." Clara's eyes were full of fire. "I survived. I raised her. I loved her. Something you never knew how to do." Aaron moved fast, grabbing her wrist, trying to push her aside. Clara swung the bat. It hit his shoulder. He screamed in pain. "U-U-L-E-F-T-U-S," she shouted, "and U-Y-L-N-E-V-R, take care again." Suddenly, loud sirens blared outside. Justice arrives. Police lights flash through the windows. Aaron turned to run, but it was too late. Officers burst in through the door. Hands in the air. Aaron was on the ground in seconds, cuffed and screaming. Clara fell to her knees, breathing heavily. It was over. Lily came out, crying. "Mommy." Clara opened her arms. They hugged tightly, heart to heart. "You're safe now," Clara whispered. "He's gone." The power of a mother's love. A few weeks passed. Aaron was taken to court and sentenced for kidnapping threats and breaking the restraining order. Clara gave her full statement. The judge praised her bravery. Helen hugged her tightly in the hallway. "You did it. You saved her." Clara smiled. "No, she saved me. Every day I looked into her eyes, I found the strength to keep going." The hall was full of noise, chatter, laughter, music, but for one woman sitting in the back row, everything seemed distant. Her hands trembled on her lap. Her eyes were fixed on the stage. It had been 20 years. 20 years since she left that small baby in a hospital crib, wrapped in a pink blanket, with only a note. "Forgive me. I'm not strong enough to be your mother." That note still haunted her dreams. Now she sat in the last row of a big auditorium, staring at the young woman who stood on stage. That girl was her daughter, Isla, the girl she walked away from, the speech that broke every heart. Isla stood on the stage, in a simple white dress. Her voice was soft but clear. "I was abandoned as a baby. My mother left me, but someone else gave me a home. My adoptive parents taught me love, strength, and kindness." The crowd listened quietly. But I always had a question in my heart. Why did she leave me? Was I not enough? Did I do something wrong, even as a baby? A few people wiped their eyes. But as I grew older, I realized something. Sometimes people break. Sometimes they feel like they have no choice. Isla paused, tears in her eyes. "I still don't know why she left, but I want her to know something." She looked out into the crowd. "If you're out there, I forgive you." A mother breaks down. The woman in the back row couldn't hold it anymore. Her breath caught in her throat. Tears spilled down her cheeks. She wanted to run, but her legs wouldn't move. She had come just to see Isla once, to see what she had become. She never planned to say anything. She thought Isla would never want to see her. But that moment, those words, they broke something inside her, and healed something too. The walk to the stage. Isla was about to leave the stage when she saw a woman slowly standing in the back. Gray hair, tired eyes, a trembling body. Isla's heart stopped. That face, something about it felt familiar. The woman took a step forward, then another. Each step was heavy, each one filled with fear. Everyone turned to look. Isla walked toward her from the stage, their eyes locked. The woman stopped, tears falling. "I'm sorry," she whispered. The room fell silent. "I never stopped thinking about you," the woman said. "Not a single day. I didn't think I deserved to see you again." Isla stood in front of her. People watched, holding their breath. Then Isla did something no one expected. She opened her arms. The woman gasped, and then fell into her daughter's hug, sobbing like a child. "I'm sorry. "I'm so sorry," she cried. "I know," Isla whispered. "It's okay now. Forgiveness in full." That hug seemed to last forever. For two broken hearts, time had stood still. But in that moment, healing began. People in the hall stood up and clapped. Some were crying. Some were smiling. And as Isla and her birth mother stood together, it felt like the pain of 20 years melted into a single truth. Love was still possible. The story doesn't end here. Later that evening, they sat together at a quiet cafe. They talked about the past, the mistakes, the regrets, and the hope. "I can't change what I did," the woman said softly. "No," Isla nodded, "but we can build something now." Final lines. They walked outside together, under the stars. Two women, one past, one future, and one bond that had survived the impossible. The mother looked at her daughter and whispered, "I missed your whole life." Isla held her hand. "We still have time." And with that, they walked into the night, together.